Hey guys, it's Sam from the Cybermen here. I wanted to do a video just talking about the new changes to the game, new rules, and the new card type, the Unison Cards. Let's start with the changes to decks. So the main change is that we'll now be able to include up to 61 cards in our decks. So we used to be able to include 51, which is 50 cards in a leader. Now we can include 60 standard cards in one leader. We don't know how side decks will change, whether or not you can have a 15 card side deck in one match and then a 10 card side deck in another. We won't know that yet. But you will be able to include 51, 52, 53, 57 or 61 cards in your deck. So it's not a hard cap or a hard limit of making your deck 61 cards. It's an option, which is a big deal because, as we know, less cards in your deck, the more consistent your deck is. That's why things like the Dragon Balls with Wish were so good, because it just helped you filter your deck. So a lot of players will be wary to go straight to 61. Others will want to just test it out. You will have some decks that really benefit from having that many cards. Things like Black Boo, things like Dende, Freezer, niche stuff like that, that really struggle with cards in deck. And if you're going up against Mill, obviously that helps. But I'm keen to see how it goes. Without the hard limit, it's going to change a lot up, and meta will be very interesting. You see some decks that have like 53 cards, exactly what they need, which is going to be cool. Let's look at Unison Cards now. So Unison Cards are completely new cards. They're not extra cards, they're not battle cards, they're not leader cards. They are their own card type. It's the first time we've had a new card type introduced since the start of the game, which is really cool. For anybody that's played Magic, they're very similar to Planeswalkers, or like pretty much exactly the same as far as I know. I haven't played Magic, I don't know, but that's just what people are saying. So they have their own area. They sit next to the leader in the Unison area. They're not in the battle area. So things that affect cards in the battle area don't affect them. They're in your deck like a normal card, so you place them, put them in your deck, shuffle them through, obviously the same as a normal card, and you draw them into your hand. You can play them like a battle card, like normal, by paying their energy cost. But because Unison cards don't have an energy cost, they have a X instead of the energy cost in the top left corner. They can be played for any amount of energy as long as you meet the specified cost. As you can see with these two cards, the specified cost is 2 for both, 2 yellow and 2 red. So you need to pay at least 2 energy, but you can pay up to as many as you like. As many as you can pay. You can pay 5, you can pay 3, you can pay 7, it doesn't matter. What it means is the more energy you pay, the more tokens or counters you get on that card. So Unison cards get counters on top. They are used to pay for the Unison skills. Your Unison card cannot survive without counters. Counters is also like life. So say you pay 2 energy to get the card out, you have 2 counters. If you then use a skill that costs 2 counters, that Unison card goes to drop area. Whenever a Unison card's counters go to 0, that card goes to the drop. So it's not only your skills that make the cards go to 0. If a Unison card's power is dropped to 0, it doesn't go to drop area automatically like a battle card. It removes 1 token or 1 counter and reverts its power back to the base power. So if it's a 15k and your opponent negs at 15k, it loses a counter, then it goes back to 15k. That all happens as games processing as soon as the card is dropped to 0. If a Unison card's attacked and beaten in battle, then you remove 1 token, as you do with the negative power, and then you continue as normal unless there's no tokens. If there's no tokens on it, it's like life. Your Unison card dies. Unison cards can be attacked in active mode as well, something that is going to be pretty difficult. As of now, with the rules, Unison cards have no defensive step. So as of now, you can't combo to save a Unison card. I'm not convinced that that's going to stay that way. It seems really tough. I mean, that means the only way to defend your counters are to block or negate. But at the same time, if you're managing that card right and you're keeping its counters up, then you shouldn't have too much of an issue keeping it alive. Something else to mention is if your opponent attacks it with a double striker or a triple striker, then for each strike, it removes a token. So double strike, it removes 2 tokens, triple strike 3, etc. So you really need to manage how you use those tokens or those counters. I think when it was first revealed, people were like, oh cool, you can play it for 2 and then just use your counters and keep putting counters back using the other skill. But you can no longer do that because you really need to look out for keeping it alive as well as using its skills. So you don't necessarily want to play it for 2, or you want to play it for 2 and just use the add counter skill, things like that. And yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to really clear that up because I know a lot of people have questions. I've been asked a lot of questions as a judge on how things are working. We don't have all the answers yet, but it's getting clearer and clearer. We're going to do some test 60 card Unison battles over the next week or so. So that'll be fun and we'll upload those here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Twitch, and we'll be back soon. Cheers.